Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar on how to engage with the Global ABC, with the Cool Coalition, and the World Championship for Energy Savings. My name is Malia Leslie. I support programs, partnerships, and events at the Global ABC. And I'm here today with Chloe and Judy. So Chloe from UNEP and Judy from ICC. I will introduce them later on. I'm just going to start quickly the presentation so it gives more room for the Q&A. I would kindly also invite you to put in the chat who you are, and so we can get the conversation started. So who we are, the Global ABC. The Global ABC it's 400 members, 400 members, including 70 countries. And we aim to be the leading platform to achieve a zero emission, efficient and resilient buildings and construction sector. In terms of governance, we have a steering committee and working groups. Towards I will deep dive quite quickly. So the first way to engage with the Global ABC is to become a member. Membership is free and to collaborate with members on topics such as adaptation, clean heat, data management, finance, market transformation as a whole, materials, passive cooling sufficiency, research and innovation as subnationals. So those groups were member-led, and for example, Judy here is also lead of the working group on adaptation. Another flagship of the Global ABC is the Global Status on Report on Buildings and Construction. We also help countries and regions to develop and implement roadmaps for decarbonization and resilience. Also, please get in touch with us if you would be interested to collaborate. We already have like more than 33 roadmaps in practice. And the third flagship activity of the Global ABC is the Intergovernmental Council for Buildings and Climate. Following the Buildings and Climate Global Forum in 2024, more than 60 countries signed the Shire Declaration, which aim to help and support achieving the Paris Agreement by 2050. Following this declaration, the ICBC Council has been established for operations. So the purpose is to accelerate decarbonization and enhance climate resilience, promote sustainable building practices, and integrate climate resilience into building design and construction. So this is still on ICBC. Each year at COP, we have ICBC Ministerial, where we can have a stock take of what has been done by countries and what are the next priorities of collaboration and knowledge sharing. Now I will leave the floor to Chloe to also do a quick introduction on the Cool Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you, Malia. Hi, everyone. I'm Chloé Rosset. I'm the Partnerships Engagement Lead for the Cool Coalition. And I'm going to introduce the Cool Coalition and opportunities for partners to engage very quickly. So, as you may know, the Cool Coalition was launched by UNEP at the UN Secretary General's Climate Action Summit to bring together all the actors needed to accelerate action on sustainable cooling in a comprehensive way across three priorities: improving cooling efficiency, passive and nature-based solutions, and supporting the phase down of HFC under the Kigali amendments. We can go to the next slide. So today, the Cool Coalition connects more than 250 governments, cities, businesses, financial institutions, academia, and civil society. And our work is around three pillars: science, to build the evidence-based, political engagement and advocacy, to translate evidence into commitments, and implementation to support countries and partners in turning commitments into action. And this is what we will focus on. We can go to the next slide. So very briefly, all our work starts from the science. So we have some flagship knowledge products such as the Global Cooling Watch and Cooler Finance, and it helps governments and partners understand both the scale of the cooling challenge and the opportunities for action. Next slide, please. So this evidence has helped place cooling higher on the international climate and development agenda and informed initiatives such as the Global Cooling Pledge and the UN Secretary General's call to action on extreme heat. So if we go to the next slide, it shows that building on this evidence base, the Cool Coalition has worked with governments and partners to elevate cooling on the international climate and development agenda, and it laid the foundation for the launch of the Global Cooling Pledge at COP28. It was for the first time countries and partners came together to commit to a shared vision combining universal access to sustainable cooling with deep reductions in cooling-related emissions. Today, the pledge includes 72 countries and more than 80 non-state actors. So if we go to the next slide, we see that basically there was a first phase that helped us build the basis for the countries to commit to the Global Cooling Pledge, and we're now entering the phase of implementation. You can move forward. That started at COP30 with the launch of EPIC, which is one of our flagship implementation mechanism. So if we go to the next slide, we can see that it's the cooling ecosystem brought together around the Cool Coalition that will implement the Global Cooling Pledge. We have different working groups that will help us do that. But basically, partners contribute technical expertise, support national and city level implementation, advanced investment solutions, and accelerate action on passive cooling and urban heat. So this ecosystem really allows countries to access the support they need while providing partners with a platform to coordinate efforts and scale impacts. So if we go to the next slide, we can see that the upcoming Global Cooling Pledge Assembly that is planned for September in Singapore will translate this ambition to move towards implementation. It will be hosted by the government of Singapore, and it will bring together governments, cities, industry, financial institutions, and implementation partners from across the cooling ecosystem to identify concrete implementation opportunities, connect country needs with available support, and build partnerships to deliver the Global Cooling Pledge. So now I think it's important to understand how partners can support this implementation phase. One of the way, and Malia will then speak about others. One of the way is to support at the country level through various initiatives. So Malia, can you please go to the next slide? So as we can see, for example, for cooling, countries are increasingly requesting practical support across a range of cooling priorities. It includes cooling in buildings, appliance efficiency and procurement, national cooling planning, access to cooling in health and education facilities, cold chains, financing mechanism, and city-level action on heat resilience. So countries have identified what needs to be done. The challenge now is to mobilize partnerships, expertise, and investments to respond to these needs. Similarly, if we go to the next slide, through the Intergovernmental Council for Buildings and Climate, ICBC, and the GlobalABC, countries also requested support to accelerate implementation in the buildings and construction sector. So priority areas include sustainable and affordable housing, public procurement, energy efficiency incentives, and others. And so that request also reflect growing demand for technical expertise, capacity building, and investment to support implementation in the built environment. So if we go to the next slide, we see that this growing demand for implementation presents significant opportunities for partners to contribute expertise, technologies, financing, and implementation support. So engagement can take many forms, including policy and regulatory support at the country level or at the regional level, demonstration projects that can take the form of technology pilots, capacity building, project preparation, and investment mobilization. So by working through the Cool Coalition and GlobalABC ecosystems, partners can help respond directly to country requests while contributing to scalable implementation efforts. Thank you, Malia.
Thank you, Chloe. I will, if I may, I would kindly ask the audience if we already have questions on this section on projects. If not, I will switch directly on plans for a COP31. So the GlobalABC has been the COP Pavilion has been established to push the international agenda on decarbonization and fighting extreme heat. So since COP26 for the Global ABC and since COP29 with the Cool Coalition. So, for example, at COP30, we bring together two agendas in one platform on buildings and cooling. Last year, we hosted more than 40 events with 250 speakers. We host social events, 3 sessions per day. I don't think this is... and this everything has been possible through our thanks to our procurement partner, which is the International Council, here represented today by Judy. Judy.
Thank you, Malia. Again, my name is Judy Zakreski. My day job is as the Senior Vice President of Global Operations and Solutions at the International Code Council, or ICC. This organization is an NGO that promotes building safety. We're based in the United States, but we work with jurisdictions around the world to achieve safe, resilient, sustainable, and affordable buildings. We have been a member of GlobalABC since 2021. And from my perspective, running all of our global engagement, I believe that GlobalABC is really has been one of the most valuable global networks for ICC to become involved in. The mission not only is fully aligned with ICC's mission, but GlobalABC provides a wide engagement across diverse sectors within the buildings and constructions value chain, as well as with national and subnational governments. Malia mentioned that it's free to join GlobalABC, but the most value comes from the engagement of members. And this is both through the volunteer leadership opportunities. Malia mentioned that I'm the co-chair of the Adaptation Hub, which has been a very valuable engagement for ICC and for me personally. And also ICC has led one of the elements of the Buildings Breakthrough. All of that to say that GlobalABC is also reliant on sponsorships to underwrite the larger activities such as the COP Pavilion that Malia introduced. And in order to help facilitate these larger engagements, ICC also has stepped up to help GlobalABC to process the sponsorship agreements because GlobalABC does not have the ability to do this on its own because of the way the organization is structured with a UNEP secretariat, but not a separate sort of legal entity they've asked ICC to step in and become sort of a logistics partner. And so we've been doing this now for about 4 years. And generally what happens is once an organization steps up to become a sponsor for one of these large events that's been introduced today and many other activities that GlobalABC engages in, the discussion turns to ICC. We finalize a sponsorship agreement, and then ICC collects the sponsorship funds. We hold it essentially in escrow, and then on the direction of GlobalABC, we make the payments for all of the costs related to these events on behalf of GlobalABC. ICC's finance and legal departments get involved in this. And we have very, very close tracking and close coordination with GlobalABC to ensure that the funds are dedicated to the purposes that are only approved by GlobalABC. I'm happy to answer questions about this process or about ICC's role, and I encourage organizations who are capable of sponsorship to do so. Please consider underwriting the valuable work that GlobalABC engages in and leads around the world. And in any case, I encourage you all to get involved. The power behind this organization is in its members, and we get out of it what we put into it. Thank you, Malia.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for your thorough support throughout the years. You made everything possible. So looking ahead exactly at COP31, what to expect as for the pavilion, we will have less events for better impact. So we'll have 2 events per day, ideally only on the first or second week. Of course, those events will be close to the ICBC ministerial. So the ICBC ministerial will take. We are currently also finalizing the dates together with the COP presidency, so we can also get the countries involved in the ministerial to also join the pavilion to continue pushing the agenda on building and decarbonization. So just for sharing as a whole, this week the COP presidency reshared and confirmed its priorities. So the 4 zero waste and circularity economy approach, green and low carbon industrialization, clean energy transition, and resilient cities are the ones that matches the most the Cool Coalition and GlobalABC's missions, which will match also the ICBC agenda for COP31 on circularity, finance, and affordable and sustainable housing. I wanted to how to further engage in events is as I will quickly mention the sponsorship opportunities, which can give you access to market shaping and policy influence, global positioning throughout visibility, logo visibility, content co-creation through speaking slot and events that are co-designed with the GlobalABC or Cool Coalition, and as mentioned by Chloe through projects. So if you wish to access a sponsorship package, please let me know also in the chat or by email, and we will follow up with you bilaterally. So those are the ones who sponsored the pavilion over the year. So we have NGOs just such as IEA or RICS, or we also have like larger companies such as Siemens, some SOM, as I saw Mina is on the line, Technologies or Vilex. Now I will leave the floor to John to present the third opportunity to engage and to join the conversation. John, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Malia. So indeed, I'm going to talk about another GlobalABC-led initiative that was launched in Belém, the World Championship for Energy Saving, which is essentially energy Olympics, if you may, between the buildings of different countries, and a way to challenge building managers to enforce energy savings, sufficiency, efficiency, adaptation underground and measure it. So next slide. This is a coalition, as I mentioned, that we launched at COP, gathering support from a lot of different countries, a lot of different organizations supporting this development, as well as corporate partners. The goal is to have as many buildings as possible to participate, to demonstrate the savings that they've been able to achieve underground, to explain how they've been able to have those savings, and to use those as reference to build stronger policies. So this is a challenge that we're building. That we started in COP30, and that we will have our first award ceremony at COP31 in Turkey. We are partnering also with the COP31 presidency in Turkey as part as their international sustainable building competition. You may have heard already of this initiative that is being launched by the COP31 presidency, Yes International, and the government of Turkey. So we will be taking part in this initiative as the official competition for building and energy efficiency. Next slide, please. So what is exactly this competition? It's essentially a race towards net zero. So we're monitoring how fast the different buildings that are participating are able to move down their CRREM curve, essentially. So they are providing us with a reference year and a monitoring year, and we're comparing both using the IPMVP method, so a standard method to calculate saving. And so we're able to calculate their performance relatively by comparing before and after, or an absolute value by comparing their monitoring period to the targets as defined by the CRREM curves. And so we are ranking different buildings based on their ability to move along and to move closer to the targets of their decarbonization set by CRREM. Next slide. Every building may participate, whether you're an existing building, a renovated building, or a new building. We have different methodologies for those different types of buildings as they are different. For instance, for existing and renovated buildings, we're comparing the performance of the buildings to a reference, a past reference. Whereas for new buildings, since they just got out of the ground, they don't have this reference. So we will be measuring their performance compared to a consumption budget that we get from the CRREM methodologies. But essentially, looking at how different buildings, whether they're existing, renovated, or new, are able to achieve performance, are able to deploy the Chaillot Declaration and the decarbonization agenda in the real world. Next slide. We're building this international competition working with countries, as I mentioned. So the different countries we're working with are building national leagues to find their national champions. So we have nationwide competition. At the end of those competition, we have national champions for each of those countries that will then become the national delegation that is being sent to COP. So we will build an international ranking with the different champions of the different countries. So that will give us an international ranking where we will be able to name champions for each climate region. So the best building for cold climate, the best buildings for dry climates, the best building for temperate climates. And this will culminate at COP31, where we will host the award ceremony with the COP31 presidency. And we will give honorary awards as part of the International Sustainable Building Competition that Turkey will be hosting. So the idea is to have those case studies through those championships. But the real goal for us is really to strengthen policies. So getting those champions, understanding what they've been putting into place to achieve those levels of performance, those acceleration down their carbonization pathway, and to use those insights to then feed back to policies and to build basically stronger policies that are more adapted to the actual realities of the markets, and to create market-proofed regulations that are actually enforceable, and to make those best practices mainstream. And so this is our approach. And to move along, to have those championships, those case studies, and those policies, we need buildings. So this is why we're trying to engage with as many partners as possible to get buildings inside this competition, to get those case studies, to get this momentum going. And this is really where you can help us. So if you would be interested in taking part of this initiative, please reach out and we can work together to get this momentum going.
Thank you, John, and thank you everyone for listening to us and joining this webinar. Does anyone would have any questions for us? This is I just entered the Q&A section of this session. So I will read the question. I think this is for you, John. Can one apply for the competition if the building is not a country that is supporting this program? And could you please specify, or could you complement this question also by the one who asked this question, say who you are in the chat? Thank you. You also have, please answer this question, John, and then we will switch to the question of Min. You're muted.
Sorry. Thank you, Maria. So that's a really good question. I had to move fast along the slide, but on the pyramid that I was showing, you can enter through a national championship, but if we don't have a partnership with the country, you still may apply. You still may win titles. What changes, though, is that because we don't have national counterparts, official national counterparts at the administrative level, that means that if you win a prize at COP, it's not sure that you would get a minister on stage with you to get the prize with you. Our idea through this national league is to make sure that there's representation, policymakers that are also involved in the process. So this will not be guaranteed with countries that are from countries where we don't have national leads. However, having very strong buildings in countries that are not affiliated yet with the championship is a good way to connect with those countries. So don't hesitate if you have really good case studies in those countries to submit them, because that will still bring a lot of value to the initiative.
Thank you very for precising that it's a project based in Nigeria. Yes, we will share the slide soon, so you can have a deeper look. What's the deadline to submit projects for the championship, John?
So the deadline is running until the end of August. So basically, you submit your building, you choose 1 year of reference, 1 year of monitoring, you enter those, and we calculate the saving. So you have until the end of August to enter these data. Then it's September, we close the registration and we calculate all the savings for the building and we make the rankings. So we would need at least a month and a half to calculate everything and then announce winners and prepare for the cup ceremony. So if you're interested, you can register on the platform, and then we can help you through the process and to make sure that in September, when we close registration, your building is all set on the platform.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? And one new message. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone? Otherwise, thank you so much for your participation, and looking forward to meeting you either at COP31 or in Singapore at the global focal global cooling pledge meeting in Singapore. Merci. Thank you. Thank you.